Hey, welcome back to Sunday School. Welcome back. It's good to be back with you for another Sunday School. And we are really excited because July 4th, we will be in person outdoors at the courthouse lawn for Sunday School. We hope you can come. Graham and Nancy and I are planning some fun things for that day and for the summer. All summer, we'll be outside doing Sunday School. Hope you can come starting July 4th. We want to thank Ben for being our acolyte last week and Sophia for doing communion. You guys both did great. We want to thank Evan for being our acolyte this week and Annabelle for doing communion. Great job. Today's ordinary person who changed the world, who I'm kind of dressed up as, is Benjamin Franklin. Although I think I look more like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Ben Franklin was a writer, he was a printer, he was a philosopher, a diplomat to other countries, the postmaster in charge of the post office for the whole United States, a scientist, an inventor, a musician, a vegetarian. I didn't know that before today's lesson. A chess master player, and a civics activist, as well as one of the founding fathers of our nation. Ben Franklin invented the lightning rod. Now, I am definitely out here in the rain today and definitely not hoping for lightning. I do not want to be a lightning rod. He invented the bifocals type of glasses, the glass harmonica, and the Franklin stove. He also made major discoveries and theories around electricity. Benjamin Franklin was also the founder of many civic organizations, including the Library Company, Philadelphia's first fire department, and the University of Pennsylvania. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Honesty is the best policy." He also said, "How many observe Christ's birthday, and how few his teachings?" And he also said, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are." Our scripture today comes from 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. And it says, "Each one of you has been given gifts from God. Use your gifts to serve one another." May we, like Ben Franklin, use our many gifts to serve one another. Well, with that, let's head on in to Sunday School.
Here's this week's quiz. Frida Kahlo loved painting A. Seascapes, B. Self-portraits, C. Landscapes. Announce your answer. The correct answer is B. Self-portraits. Frida Kahlo was proud of her A. American heritage, B. French heritage, C. Mexican heritage. Your answer? The correct answer is C. Mexican heritage. Frida Kahlo was married to a famous painter named A. Salvador Dali, B. Pablo Picasso, C. Diego Rivera. Your answer? The correct answer is C. Diego Rivera. Thanks for taking the quiz. I am Benjamin Franklin. I come from a big family in Boston, a really big one. I was the youngest boy with 10 older siblings and 2 younger sisters. As a kid, I loved to swim and experiment. And one of my swimming experiments was with a kite. Once we got the kite in the air, I ran into a nearby pond. Almost there. Floating on my back, I waited for it to pull me across the water. It's working! Boy, that kid is good with kites. If you're willing to experiment, you can learn something new and use it to improve things. At 10 years old, I got my first job working for my dad making candles and soap. Hoping to find something I liked, my dad showed me many different jobs. I like seeing all the ways to make things. The world has so much to discover, but there was one thing I liked most of all: reading books. I loved reading so much that anytime I had extra money, I'd use it to buy books. It taught me that our individual actions could change history and make the world better. That means history doesn't just happen by itself. It's written and built and improved upon by people like you and me. Since I loved reading and writing, I went to work for my brother James. He owned one of the most powerful tools in the world, a newspaper. My brother's was the first independent paper in Boston. I wanted to be a writer too, but my brother wouldn't let me. So one night when I was 16, I wrote an essay and slipped it under the door of the newspaper. I used different handwriting and a fake name, pretending I was an old woman who lived in the countryside. That's how I became a published author. Eventually, I decided to forge my own path, to write my own history. So I headed for the big city, Philadelphia, my new home. I came to Philadelphia for a better job and a better life. I found both. But the number one thing I worked to improve? Myself. In order to be a better person, I wrote new rules to live by. My very own, planned for future conduct. First, be frugal, which means don't spend your money on things you don't need. Second, tell the truth. Third, work hard. Fourth, don't speak badly about other people. My most vital work came from my job. In Philadelphia, I opened a print shop for my own newspaper, the Pennsylvania Gazette. I was a champion of the free press, printing many different opinions. People will always have disagreements. That's not a bad thing. And remember, if you listen to just one side of an argument, you won't have all the important facts. You won't be able to make an informed decision. Early on, Ben printed this image, the very first political cartoon. Its meaning was that we're much stronger when we stand together. Every year, in addition to the newspaper, I also published Poor Richard's Almanac. An almanac is like a calendar containing weather forecasts and the times that the sun will rise and set. I also added advice like early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Haste makes waste. God helps them that help themselves. He that lies down with dogs shall rise up with fleas. No gains without pains. My real goal was to help my readers be better people. I never lost my love of learning and discovery. I observed how people got sick and became one of the first to figure out that colds are contagious. Achoo! I did experiments to prove how dark colors absorb more heat than light ones. See, the snow under the dark ones melts more quickly. And let's not forget my most famous scientific experiment, electricity. Back then, people didn't know how exactly how electricity worked. By observing it up close, I discovered that when there's a positive charge or energy of one type, there's also an equal negative charge or energy that holds the opposite. It was a massive scientific breakthrough. The words he invented, like charge and battery, are still being used today. I also noticed that terrible fires were being caused when the tops of church steeples got struck by lightning. There had to be a way to make things safer. First, I studied the problem. I think it's the metal on the roof. I think the metal is drawing the lightning from the sky. You sure about that? Let the experiment be made. At the time, I'd been waiting for a local church to finish building its steeple so we could put a metal rod up and test it. They were taking so long that my son and I decided to try it ourselves with a kite. In June 1752, on a cloudy night, we put a pointy wire at the top of a silk kite. Then we tied a key to the kite's wet string, hoping it would show us sparks after the lightning hit the wire. Almost there. People think I was an old man by then, but I was only 46 and my son was 21. Almost there. When the clouds first passed over, nothing happened. Give it time. Almost there. Almost there. And then, look at the string. The strand started to rise. And the key, it worked. Instead of hitting and burning the kite, the lightning was attracted to the metal. Soon after, the world's first lightning rods were installed in Philadelphia. To this day, rods around the world have prevented millions of fires. Of all my experiments, perhaps the most important one was this, the American experience. Back then, the United States didn't exist yet. There were no states, just 13 colonies, all controlled by King George III, who was treating us unfairly. In 1775, the American Revolution was beginning. I was elected to the Second Continental Congress, where we voted for the 13 colonies to join together and fight as one against the king. Thomas Jefferson was selected to write a document that would declare our independence from England. In it, we tell the king what kind of country we hope to be. People who lived here would have certain rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jefferson asked me to read his first draft. I made a number of changes, including this one. We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. Now, what if we change it to this? We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Through history, it has always been true. Nothing can stop a good idea. In my life, I worked hard to improve things, including improving myself. That doesn't come easy. When you're trying to improve things, there will always be a risk of failure. Don't let it stop you. By learning from failures, you will make progress. New ideas are like lightning. They can appear instantly, striking from nowhere with staggering powers. That power is yours. Use it wisely. You'll change the world. Can you believe all of his inventions? The lightning rod, bifocals, a mechanical arm for getting books off high shelves, and so many more. Did you know that he also helped start a fire brigade, a corps of night watchmen, his own college, and the first ever subscription library? He was the only person to work and sign the 4 major documents that helped establish the United States: the Declaration of Independence, the Treaty with France, the Treaty of Paris with Britain, and the Constitution. I was a painter, a writer, an inventor, a scientist, a scholar, and a founding father. You don't have to be just one thing, but you do need to be a good person. You can always improve yourself. You can always improve your world. There are countless ways to do it. Look for problems that need solving. Experiment and find solutions. Help the people in your community. And of course, use your voice. Speak up and speak the truth. I am Benjamin Franklin. Improve yourself, improve the world.
Remember on the night Jesus was betrayed, he gathered with his disciples in the upper room. And as was the custom, Jesus took the bread, he blessed it and broke it and said, "Take, eat. This is my body, broken for you. As often as you eat this bread, remember me." And in the same way after the supper, he took the cup, gave thanks for it, and he gave it to his disciples and said, "Take, drink. The cup is the new covenant in my blood. As often as you drink this, remember me."
Today's story is about Benjamin Franklin, a writer, printer, an inventor, a scientist, a scholar, and a founder of our country. He teaches us that we don't have to be just one thing. We can always improve ourselves and our world. And we have to risk failure to make progress. We learn from our failures. Take time this week to ponder what you might improve about yourself and how it will improve the world. See you next Sunday, and we look forward to meeting in person outdoors in a couple of weeks on July 4th.